Hello and welcome to a new video. In today's video I'll be creating a game in Roblox Studio and adding it to Roblox. I have used Roblox Studio before, one time to even try to make a functioning Roblox game, but both times I was just copying basically blindly off of a tutorial. I wasn't actually learning how to code anything in Roblox Studio. So this time I'll be coding all the stuff myself. Over time, while I was making the game, I found out that the coding language that Roblox Studio uses is very different from the coding language that I use in Unity. For one thing, all the lines of code don't need anything at the end of them, unlike C#, which requires the semicolon at the end of it. Additionally, the variables don't have anything defined, like integers or bools, which integers can only be whole numbers and bools can only be true or false. Instead, Roblox Studio variables, it's just a variable, and then I can set it to 5, but then later I could also set it to like a string that says hello world or something. So it is time for me to begin working on the game. So for the Roblox game that I am going to make, I want to go for a more simple game and not super complicated so that I can actually make it. The kind of game I will be making is a tower defense game, as that was one of the older projects I had done copied off of a tutorial, and I really just want to achieve what my younger self couldn't. The first thing to do with the game is creating the basic mechanics of the game before I add any functionality with the player. And how I'll be figuring out all the code for the stuff I need to do for the game is whenever I find something that I need to do and can't do, I'll go to the internet and figure out what I need to do. And to begin, I started off with making zombies able to walk along a path, the most basic part of the game. And of course the zombies need a path to walk along, which will be the map, which for now, before I decide to make any fancy map, it's just going to be a base default blank thing. So now that I have the zombies basic behavior working, I can now add the second part of what makes a tower defense game, adding the tower, a tower. Afterwards, making the zombies, I can work on making the towers. And to start off, I added no animations and just a very simplistic tower that can damage the zombies slowly over time. Now for the game, I can't just be doing stuff in the thing because I currently have no way of placing the towers down. So for this, I needed a way to figure out how to place the towers down. For the button, I had to realize that the difference between local and normal scripts, which one is being for the player, other for the server. It took me a while to figure out that only local scripts work with UI. So the towers, since it is local on the server, you'll be unable to see this thing. And as seen, you can't see where the player is trying to place the tower. But the instant the player places the tower, as shown here, it's on the server. And one of the final basic things I needed to do with the towers is figure out a way for them not to be placed along the path. Because right now, the towers can be placed along the path, which is not how they're supposed to be, and only zombies should be able to be placed along the path. And of course, after some coding, I managed to make it so that they can't be placed along the path, and you receive a message saying you can't place the tower there. So now that all the basic mechanics are in the game, I can now work on more complicated things, and actually have them more detailed and more final. One of the first things that I began with was making the maps. As with most other things, if I want to make some more detailed models than what the game provides, I go to Blender, as it allows me to make some more detailed landscapes. Okay, so in Blender I made 7 different maps, them being Frozen Fortress, Forest Grove, Racing Excitement, Rooftop Trouble, Silent Dam, Calm Village, and Wild Mines. So after making the maps, I decided the next best bet for making something that I wouldn't have to replace later on is creating the UI for the game. I decided to go for a more simplistic and cartoonish look for the UI, as I don't have the patience to make some more complicated UI, and I also just don't have the skills to make more complicated UI as well. Another reason I decided to do UI before towers is because of a mechanic that I wanted to add to this game to try to make it more different than other tower defense games. And with the UI, all of this was presented in the bottom right corner and with the base health. So for the mechanic that I've decided to try and add, it was actually inspired by a game that was played in my social class. And the game that we played in social class was very easy to understand. You were basically this country who wanted to attract investors, as investors can provide a lot of money for your country's economy. But there also wasn't just one country. There were actually many countries that were competing for the investors' money. And instead all the money getting split evenly among all the countries, the investor, since they invest, wants to get the most out of his money. So he'll put the money into the country where he'll get the best efficiency from his money. And so each country had to try to attract this investor by lowering stuff in the country so it'd be more suitable for him to make more money with his money. This could be helped by lowering the wages of workers, changing around laws, all in all just making it a better place for this investor to make money. As if your country was the best, you would make the most money. And since if your country was the best for him making money, you would be getting the investment from him. So this is what my mechanic is based off of. As different maps will provide different values, and each map has 5 values that can fluctuate, which is max noise, max budget, max land usage, max environmental harm, and max of zombie harm. And all the maps have unique amounts of each value to try to make you, the player, go to one instead of the other. As you may have a lot of towers that make a ton of noise, you will go to a map that has a high tolerance for noise. And if you ever try to exceed one of the values, unless it is some amount of damage on your health base, which you'll just lose, you will actually get punished with your towers being taken away from you. And all of that's why I decided to hold off on the towers before. As with Roblox Studio, all the scripts for the different towers are separate. Can't just edit all of them at once. And of course, after that, I made all the towers and also all the upgrade models, which there's a lot of them, as each tower goes up to level 7. The reason I did towers before zombies this time instead of zombies before towers was because a fair bit of the towers have some special effects that I want to have them inflict upon the zombie. If I did the zombies first, I would have to copy and paste the code over a lot of zombies, but by waiting I wouldn't have to. Each zombie has a health bar and some values up top. First one is simple defense, which didn't need a wait. Second one is special ice defense. There's also a no sleep icon, as there is a tower that can put a zombie to sleep. There's also a no burn option, which there is a tower that can burn the zombies, which will damage them over time, and a no curse effect. Curse is a more unique effect that zombies can have, as once a zombie takes any damage and have their health above the curse threshold, they will take that much curse damage. So now with a ton of the zombies created, I also decided to have the 3 different game modes. Easy, normal, and hard, which will be based off of what kind of towers I kind of expect the player to have. And additionally, the previous values from before, like noise, budget, land, and environmental harm, will actually affect the final amount of money that you make at the end of the game, whether you win or lose. And they will take off percentages of your total money that you would have earned before. They will start by taking off percentages of how much you would have won. Additionally, there are map multiplier, which for easy maps, even though the tracks are generally long and the values there are quite generous, they also give you less money. So with that, it actually makes it more worth it if you want to do a hard map. Do you want to do a hard map for more potential for money, or an easy map so that it's easier to get further along for more money? So now all the mechanics and such have been added to the game. But for the game, I can't just load the player directly into the game, as you'll be loaded most likely into the middle of a match, and also have no way of buying towers. So because of that issue, I decided to make a lobby map. Lobby allows you to select what map you get to go in, with several areas for going into a map. Additionally, it is added a shop, allowing you to buy towers with money that you have earned, and it also equip and unequip towers. But additionally, there is a medals section. Medals are awarded for beating a mode on a certain map. So each map has an easy, normal, and hard medal that you can earn, with also rewards for getting medals, which will incline a player to visit different maps for more medals. Additionally, I decided to also add some badges to the game that you could earn for completing certain things in the game. Well, that is pretty much all the features I wanted to add to the game, and all I'm willing to add to the game. So I hope that you enjoyed watching today's video, and if you want to play my game, it will be available. There will be a link to the game in the description. Goodbye.